You're listening to KEXP. You can find us at 90.3 FM in Seattle, 92.7 FM in the Bay Area, streaming worldwide at kexp.org and also on the KEXP mobile app. I'm Cheryl Waters. I'm here in the KEXP studios with a band that has captured my heart. It's Rosali. Welcome. So wonderful to have you here.
Really happy to be here.
Your newest album, which came out last year, is called Bite Down, and I see you're going to start us off with a track from that. That is Rosali live on KEXP, song from the album Bite Down, one of my favorite records from last year. So happy to have them here live on KEXP.
different now than it was before. I don't look at my reflection. Rest my eyes a minute more. The changes in the form.
It's Rosali live on KEXP, the album Bite Down from 2024, out on Merge Records.
Guys ready? Hold my tears in my balloon. I sat alone, I was invisible. Hard lips before I cried. Sweet vermouth and a shot of rye. Hills on fire and still we climb. Lift my skirts, cover your eyes. Better sweat yours and mine. The clouds we've never known, taking shape in vibrant hues, purple, pink, and a bit of blue. Oh, that color looks so good on you. Hills on fire and still we climb. Lift my skirts, cover your eyes. Better sweat yours and mine. and awful too. Anger built in my youth, never learned how to soothe. Hills on fire and still we climb. Lift my skirts, cover your eyes. Better sad, yours and mine. Hills on fire, hills on fire.
Ah, that sounded awesome. Hills on Fire from the Rosali album Bite Down. It's Rosali live on KEXP. Oh, yeah. It's Rosali live on KEXP. I can't tell you how wonderful it is to hear a record that I have listened to probably hundreds of times come to life in a live setting. You sound so wonderful today. Thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thank you so much for having us and for those kind words. It means a lot to us.
Well, I am such a huge fan of your records, and I just feel like your songwriting, the melodies, your gorgeous voice, and Bite Down is just such another beautiful addition to your catalog, and you have all just really knocked it out of the park. And I know that you have mad love for this band.
I do.
And the chemistry both on the record and live is so palpable. And I know a little bit about the story that how you met and kind of went on a little tour together and then just became this solid unit that just makes magic. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey?
Yeah. So like you said, I have another band when I lived in Philadelphia called Long Hots. We're like a garage rock trio. And went on tour with David, Nance, and Mode Sound, who are my lovely backing band here. And it was 2 weeks in a van together, and we just became the best of friends. It was such a fun tour, and midway through, Dave was like, "We want to be your backing band for your next record." So I took him up on the dare and went to Omaha that fall and recorded in Jim's basement on all like thrifted gear. And at the time, we were all kind of nervous because it was like, you have that kind of concentrated time together where it's like, this is awesome. But then months go by, and we're like, oh, is it going to be good? But then it just was so easy, and we recorded no medium.
And it was good.
Yeah, we just had a wonderful time. And then the pandemic hit. That we finished the record, mixing it on March 20th of 2020. And I was getting ready to send it around, and then we all know what happened with the pandemic. But because the whole time making that record, I was like, this is going to be so fun to play live, because part of the reason, we were so drawn together is just watching them play live. Like David Nance Mode Sound is an incredible live band. So just knowing that and wanting to play it live, I was so excited. And then the pandemic hit, wasn't sure if that would ever happen. But then as things started opening up and the record came out in 2021, and then Destroyer asked us to go on tour. And so we were out for a month, and initially we thought it would just be a one-off record. But then we all developed kind of just a deeper love of each other, a deeper knowledge of the way each other played, and it felt like we were just getting started. So like around that time, I signed with Merge, and so I think it was right at the start of that tour maybe. And so like, do you guys want to do it again? You want to make another record? And then in that making, we invited Ted Bois from Destroyer to join us on keys. We went back to Jim's basement. Did it again, because why mess with something that works? And that one we recorded definitely more as a live, like a lot of live takes, like Hills on Fire that we played. Other than the vocals, that was all played live, and just kind of really, growing upon our connection. And I really love the way Kevin, Dave, and Jim all play, and trusting them that they're going to make the choices in their expression. So. And I think I think Bite Down is a really strong band record. I wrote the melodies and the words, but I think the energy and the feeling, it very much comes from us working as an ensemble.
Well, the power of your playing together is so potent. And as you said, after making that first record and then spending so much time on tour with them, you built this trust. And it sounds like you went into the studio for Bite Down with a little bit of a different approach, and it was a lot more collaborative. You talked about Hills on Fire being a live take, but I read that you gave direction through adjectives and feelings and ideas versus musical terms. Can you describe how that worked and maybe give me an example?
Yeah, I mean, well, for one, it's like I'm self-taught. I grew up in a musical family, but I don't really have a lot of professional training, so I can't be like, can you go to this, whatever the lingo is, and to just kind of like get the feeling across. So like on Changes in the Form, which we played on the record, it's Jim and Dave playing the guitar solos at the same time that we tracked it. And I just say like, oh, just imagine like somebody just came up and ripped your heart out and showed it to you. That's how I want you to play.
I heard that.
Yeah, so stuff like that. And they did it. And I think 3 takes in.
It was easy. I think we had a good,
A piece of your heart right in front of you.
Yeah.
I'll let Dennis job.
And they just they're like, okay, sure, we'll go for it. and lots of laughing too. And there's songs that the lyrics might be sad, but I'm like, this is not the song. It's about maybe being on the other side of it, feeling triumphant, and just kind of going from there and talking about the feeling of how I want the song to make you feel, and not necessarily like technical terms.
Well, your voice also contributes a lot to the way the song makes you feel. You have such a wonderful voice, and I feel like on Bite Down, you've just done some really magnificent singing here. You talked about growing up in musical family. I know you sang together since you were very young, and you just really express a lot of deep emotion in your lyrics, and that comes out in your vocal stylings. Is that something that you're conscious of?
Yeah, for sure, yeah. And I mean, that's kind of how my mom sang that way, and that's kind of like how I just grew up singing. And she was like a big fan of murder ballads and things like that. So they're kind of like darker subject matter in songs, and that's just kind of was a natural, just like my natural style and way of singing. And then writing, personal material. Not everything is personal from my life. It's maybe other people's story, but it is very much about emotion. And I think that, I want to connect with people, my listeners, to be able to have their own feelings and work through whatever they're working through. So I think that a vocal delivery is very important for that, because a human voice, we all have one, and it's a human instrument. So that's, I don't know, it is my strongest suit, I think, as a musician as well.
Well, you've been doing this for a while, and you've talked about being at a place of maturity where you're able to speak more directly through your lyrics right now, and you're not really veiling them, that you're approaching them from all angles. Can you talk about how you feel like you've gotten to that place and how it expresses itself on Bite Down?
Yeah, I mean, I think like early on, I would definitely try to it's poetry, and I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I love poetry, and I like, maybe having some vagueness to it, but I think as you mature, things don't feel so huge or like cloudy. It's easy to maybe get more to the heart and straightforwardness to it, instead of like dancing around maybe what you're trying to say, just like cut right to it. And that saying something bluntly and maybe saying something that's like a little ugly in there is powerful and potent, and it just gets it across. And so I've really tried to have kind of that bravery in being very direct, because sometimes it's hard in real life, in conversation, to have that directness. But if you can distill it down into a lyric that can just like punch you, and maybe you don't even hear it the first time, and then you're like, whoa, did she say that?
Well, you mentioned living in Philadelphia, where you lived for over a decade, and just kind of consumed with that busyness of life and that urban environment and all that entails. And now you're living in North Carolina. It sounds like living a more tranquil life, going for walks in the woods with your dog. Is that a good place for you right now in your personal life and in your music? For
sure, yeah. I mean, I love Philly, and it really, I feel like it toughened me up. And just like I grew up in the country, and Philly was like, helped me grow a hard shell in the best way. But I was ready for a change, and I moved to North Carolina just thinking it would be temporary. I had a lot of friends in the Durham area from playing music, and that's where my previous label, Spinster, like some people were there. And I went there, kind of like shuffled the deck a little bit, and I ended up really loving it. I mean, other than it being very hot and humid, but it's fine. And there being poisonous snakes. But I really, I think that there's a great music scene there. You have a huge variety of music, but I can be involved in a city, but still have, I have a little garden that has provided me a great deal of therapy. And I wrote Bite Down walking the trails a lot. So it's a wonderful place to be.
Well, it's a beautiful record. You had me till you said poisonous snakes, so I think I'll stay here. But please come back. It's such wonderful to hear you all playing today. It's Rosali live on KEXP. Love the new record.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having us.
Thank you so much to all of our listeners and viewers for helping to make sessions like this possible. KEXP is listener-powered. You can make a gift in support of KEXP anytime at KEXP.org. Help us continue to provide these great live and studio sessions. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll let you know every time we launch a new video. Once again, a big thank you to Rosali live on KEXP.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you, Cheryl.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.